everyone, and thank you for again watching my videos. I hope you really enjoyed my previous video and I hope it was really useful for you. Okay, now the first topic that we discussed yesterday, we spoke about the features of principles of management. Let's have a recap of what we learned yesterday. The first, what is the meaning of principles of management? Principles are statements of truth. They give us general guidelines of what an organization should do and what an organization should not do. And what is the meaning of management? Management is the art of getting things done through others. So putting both the words together, principles of management is nothing but statements of truth, which gives us general guidelines of how an organization has to work. Yes? So now moving on to the features that we studied yesterday. Students, I hope your notes are open in front of you and I hope you have marked everything in your notebook. Let's do a serious study on whatever I'm going to teach you today. Yes? Thank you so much. So yesterday we studied about the features of principles of management. The first feature that we studied yesterday was universal applicability. What is the meaning of the word universal? Throughout the entire universe, in all organizations, let it be a big organization, a small, a business organization, a non-business organization, let it be a private sector, a public sector. What is followed? All the principles of management are followed. So the second point goes to general guidelines. So what are they saying? These principles are guidelines which every organization has to follow, irrespective whether it's a big organization or it's a small organization. So whatever the third point, coming down to the third point, formed by practice and experimentation. What is this practice and experimentation? Whose practice and experimentation are we talking about here? Yes, you're right. We are talking about the managers' practice, their past experiences and their knowledge of what they have learned about principles of management. And they will utilize that to solve all the problems in a given organization. Yes? So moving down to the fourth point, flexible. What is flexible? Principles of management are flexible. They are not rigid. Yes, again, telling you that principles of management cannot be rigid because these are general guidelines which every organization has to follow. So if any rules and regulations provided are very strict, then it becomes very difficult for the employees to follow it. So coming down to the next point, mainly behavioral in nature. So whose behavior are we talking about? We are comparing human behavior to the material resources. You know what resources word refers to. So the employees should make sure that they use their resources provided in a given organization to the maximum so that they can achieve the efficiency in the organization. So who should check all this? The management and the top level people as well as the manager should check all this, that the human people or the employees are using the resources properly and not wasting the resources. Now coming down to the next point, cause and effect relationship. So what is the cause? Because there's a problem, the manager should analyze what should be the solution to a given problem. Like example, yesterday I said you were in quarantine sitting at home. So what is the effect? Because you're sitting in quarantine, we cannot teach you in a class. So what is the effect of what we are doing? We are coming down with online classes. Yes, we're using apps, various modes of teaching our students. So that's the cause and effect. So like that only, every principle has a cause and has an effect. So if discipline is not followed, example, discipline is also a principle which is given by Henry Fayol. So if discipline is not followed in the organization, what happens to the organization? What's the effect of if discipline is not followed? So all these are what? This is one of the important feature of management. Coming down to the last feature of management, what we studied today, yes, you're right, it's contingent. Contingent means what? It may or may not happen based on the prevailing situations, whatever is continuing in the organization. So when you know there is this situation or there is this problem that the manager is, if they are incurring it every month, They should know what is the solution for a given problem, and over the experiences of managers, they will understand what they need to do over a period of time. Yes. So these were just a given recap of whatever features I taught you yesterday. Now moving down to the importance of principles of management. I have already done this in class with you, but still let me again do a recap and reteach you what it is. It's a very important topic. Again, it's an 8 marker. Please mark it very important. And please ensure to see that there are only 6 points. If you check in your notebook, you can actually see there are only 6 points. But the remaining 2 marks will go for the meaning or the introduction and the conclusion what you're going to write. Yes, thank you. Now moving down to the first point. Importance is also called as significance. Okay, importance is also called as significance. So importance or significance of principles of management. Now the first one, providing managers with useful insight. What is the terminology or a simplified meaning for the word called insight? Insight means looking into the future. Like an example I'll give you. Now who's looking into the future? The managers are looking into the future. Example I'll tell you. Now yesterday same example I'll take. An employee has not been coming to work since 3 days. Okay, and because the employee is not coming to work since 3 days, the manager is calling, he is contacting the HR person, he is telling the HR person, he is trying his maximum level best to contact the employee. After a certain point of time, he realizes that this employee has blocked all his numbers and nobody is getting in touch to tell about this employee. So this employee is absconded, he has run away from the organization. So let's say in place of this old employee, there is a new employee who is joining next month. Now let's say the first day the employee is not coming to the, not the first day, as this new employee is joined and he started working over a period of 1 year, all of a sudden this new employee has taken a leave, let's say for 3 days. Now tell me, will the manager sit quiet the first day itself when the employee is not informed? No, he would not. He would maximally try to contact the employee. He will ensure that the employee's friends are also contacting him and asking him what is the reason, or he would warn all the new employees before itself, telling that you have to inform me in case you're not going to come to work. So what is it? Providing managers with useful insight. Just because the manager has faced a problem, he will understand in future how he has to handle a problem. Understanding. So what is providing with useful insight? All these principles of management, that's these theories which are written by Henry Fayol and Frederick Winslow Taylor, all these are providing an insight to the manager to look into the future for the manager so that they can solve all the problems easily. Yes? Now let's look at the explanation that's in your notes. Principles of management provides managers with useful insight into real world situations. So the example I gave you is a real world situation. Please underline the terminology. Managers learn from past mistakes. So what was the past mistake of our manager? When the employee joined, that's the first employee joined, 3 days he was absent, he did not warn the employee. But he did not repeat the same mistake next time. He well in advance informed all the employees, any day you're going to take a leave or a holiday, you have to keep me informed. Yes? Why does he know it? Because of his past mistake. Next one. And saves time in solving recurring problems. Recurring means problems which occur continuously over a period of time. Then it increases. So what are they saying? If you follow the principles of management effectively, your efficiency of the organization will increase. Yes? So have you underlined the words? Thank you. Now moving on to the next point. Optimum utilization of resources. You know the meaning of the word optimum. Optimum means maximum utilization of resources. Now resources refers to 4 words. What is it? It refers to finance, technology, raw material, and what? Human resources. So what are they saying? All these 4 words or all these 4 things or even employees should be used to the maximum so that we can gain maximum efficiency through all these resources. Understood? So what are they saying? If we are pushing the employees to the maximum to ensure that their work is done, we will ensure that their profits are increasing, their sales are increasing. If we use our material resources, our finance, our technology to the maximum, we will ensure that everything is at the brim. Understood? The costs will remain low and everything will increase. The profits will increase, the efficiency will increase. Understanding? So, optimum utilization of resources and effective administration. Effective administration refers to what? If the resources are used to the maximum, managing them would become very easy for the manager. Why? The manager, it will be easy for him to handle the employees, tell the employees, this is what you need to do. This is your job. You need to do your 100 emails every single day. Yes? So what's the explanation? Resources, both human and material, are limited. I told you before, telling that in case of two people hired to do a single job, one person is dumped with a lot of work to complete their job. This, I hope you remember that I have told you. Any given organization, your everyday target is to do 100 emails. But your manager will tell you your target is to do 120 emails. Why? You have the capacity, you have the knowledge, you are very much efficient. That's how your manager will motivate you. Why? Because he wants to get the maximum efficiency out of you. Understood? So, they have to be used to the maximum to get the required efficiency. Did you understand? Now, moving down to the third point. Scientific decision. The word scientific here refers to the terminology called facts, experiments. You already know that. Science, wherever science comes, you should always know it refers to facts, it refers to a lot of experiments that's done. So based on the facts and experimentation, decisions are taken. But what is the scientific decisions that's been taken in the organization? Basically, science refers to having laboratory experiments, chemical experiments. But here, this speaks about principles of management. That refers to what? The managers ensuring that they are experimenting on employees, seeing whether they are able to do the job or whether they are not able to do the job, how efficient one employee is when compared to another employee. Understood? So what is it? Scientific decisions are based on realistic, should be realistic, so that the managers can measure and evaluate. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are employed in the organization, your manager tells you, there are 1,000 emails, you should do the emails. Is it easy for you to do it? No, you will actually be wondering, how am I supposed to do 1,000 emails without they giving me a target? How am I able to do it? But let's say, second example, the manager is hiring you, he is telling you every single day your target is you have to do 100 emails. Now tell me, can your efficiency be measured? Yes. Why? Because 100 emails is a realistic thing which you can achieve. Okay? And based on your realistic goal of 100 emails, your manager will measure your performance also equally. Yes? So that based on the logic ideas rather than blind faith. Blind faith refers to what? It's again coming back to the example like what I told you. He hires you, he tells you, you have to do 1,000 emails. Is it easy for you to do 1,000 emails? No, it's not. It's an unrealistic idea. No human being can do 1,000 emails a day. It will really take age-old time. So what is it? Whatever he is giving you or work he is asking you to do, it should be realistic. It should be easy for him to measure and it should be easy for you to do the job rather than just blindly telling do 1,000 emails. Understood? Now moving on to the fourth point. Meeting changing environment requirements. You know that the environment surrounded us is a dynamic environment. Dynamic means what? Ever changing. It is not static, it is dynamic, which is ever changing based on the political, based on the social, based on the economical, legal, technological, everything is ever changing. So when the environment is ever changing, what happens? The problems that's faced in the organization also changes. So what is it? Principles of management are very flexible. Flexible means what? It's easy. Why? And easy to adopt as per the changing environment. Example, the non-core activities of an organization are outsourced. Do you remember in your first year business studies, I taught you something about core activities, non-core activities. Non-core activities refers to all the cleaning, let's say the laundry, let's say all the food counters, all this is the non-core activities. All the service things which helps the employees like food, let's say cleaning, let's say keeping the organization really spick and span. All these are the non-core activities which is really not important for the organization to concentrate on. But if you talk about the core activities are what? Finance, human resources, then software department. Let's talk about which other department do we have? Yeah, production department. All these are the core activities. So the organization has to concentrate on the core activities rather than the non-core activities. Why? Because when the organization, let's take for example, we are talking about an organization called A. Organization A will concentrate about finance department, production department, human resource department, technology department, or any other department, rather than concentrating on laundry service or cleaning and keeping the place spick and span. So what is it? It becomes too much of work for them to do. So what they do is they outsource the non-core activities to a third party so that the third party can help them do their job. Like example, I was telling you about this JLL organization, John Slugger Lab, where the non-core activities of certain companies are given to this third-party company, and they will take full control of the transportation services, the helping services, or the food counters in a particular organization, so that the company can always concentrate on the core activities. Yes? Okay. So, meeting changing environments refers to what? The environment is an ever-changing, it's very dynamic. So what? The principles will always help them achieve, and it's always flexible to ensure that they are able to achieve their goals and their targets. Next one, fulfilling social responsibility. What is the meaning of the word social responsibility? Yes, again you know it. Voluntary association or voluntarily the business organization helping towards doing something good for the welfare of the society. So who is helping you fulfill? The principles are helping you to fulfill the social responsibility towards outside the organization. Yes, so example let's take is discipline. Certain children do not learn discipline at home. They really don't want to obey to what their parents are saying. So what happens when you join an organization? You're forced to dress in formals. You are forced not to use your phone inside the production department. You are forced to keep yourself really neat and dressed in formal. So what is it? Automatically, as your age you tend to become a little matured. You start working for different organizations. Your view is also changing. So you get disciplined as you are becoming as a person. So what happens? This helps you to fulfill the social responsibility. So when you are looked upon as an individual, that is outside, when people look at you, they'll say, you know what, this person Ravi, he dresses up so well, he's working for this organization, you should see the way he dresses, you should see the way he talks, you should see the way he handles himself. So what is it? Indirectly or directly, the business is helping you to fulfill the social responsibility. Yes, so examples, they will have a lot of these campaigns and they'll have a lot of these fundraising programs where they'll ask the employees to contribute whatever money they want, so that to help the blind people, to help to have a marathon, so that they can have different causes being raised. Okay, so these principles are helping in turn to fulfill all the social responsibilities. So the increased awareness of public forces the businessmen to fulfill their social responsibilities, like all the examples I've given you. Now moving down to the last one. Management, training, education and resources. Here you know the meaning of the word resources, you know the meaning of the word education. Where do you get educated? Joining an institution, like let's say a college, you get educated. Like example, where are you learning these principles of management? You will learn it in your degree. You will learn it when you're doing your BBA, BBM, BCom. You will have a subject called Principles of Management. If you're going to do your master's like your MBA, again you'll be purely learning about management theories. So what are they saying? When you're going to work in an organization, if you want to become a manager and an employee, it is very important for you to know the principles so that you can incorporate it as you work every day in your organization. Yes. So what are they saying? Management training. Training is provided by an organization when you join the organization. Education means what? You are joining an institute. The minute you finish your 10th standard, you join a college, you join your 11th and 12th. That's where you're learning all these principles like how you're learning it now. Resources refers to what? You know the 4 words. I'll not repeat it again to you. So POM, that means Principles of Management, are the core of management theories. Core means what? It is the basic structure, the importance. They provide us basic groundwork for the development of management as a discipline. Example, courses such as MBA, BBA, BBM provide you or gives you a platform where you can learn the subject called Principles of Management, and they teach you that these are the values you need to carry out throughout any organization you join. Irrespective you're a software engineer, irrespective if you are a commerce background, you need to know these principles. Yes, any doubts you have, please leave a comment to me or probably text me. I will clarify all your doubts. Hope this was very simple for you. Now again I'll teach you a knack. Look at the important words. Learn these points. Based on these points, you can explain your topic, and please mark the important terminologies that I have marked. Yes? So once again, let's see. Providing managers, underline with useful insight. Insight refers to looking into the future. Optimum refers to maximum utilization of resources. Resources refers to 4 words. Finance, technology, what? Human resources and raw materials. Then effective administration. Scientific refers to a lot of facts and experiments. Decisions. Decisions are taken by managers or management. Meeting changing environment. Environment is dynamic. It's ever changing. It's not constant, but still the business will ensure that whether they have to outsource their activity or not source their activities. Then fulfilling social responsibility. Social responsibility refers to what? Voluntary obligation towards doing good for the welfare of the society. So indirectly or directly, you are enhancing the growth of the society. Then last one, management training, education resources. Where are you learning all these principles? You're learning them in all educational institutions through its various courses that you're going ahead with. Okay, so any doubts, please let me know. Thank you so much, and please ensure that you're not wasting your time. You are going to study. Thank you so much.